Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to share with you a topic entitled Fake News Amidst the COVID-19 Pandemic, a study of the elements of fake COVID-19 news in Malaysia. Let me start with introduction. I believe we all know about COVID-19 as we are fighting with the virus now. Although scientists have been working hard developing and searching for a vaccine, however, there is no current treatment that cure or prevent COVID-19. And according to Worldometers, coronavirus disease has resulted in more than 700,000 deaths and has affected more than 200 countries. Although the virus itself has created a lot of fears, however, fake news travel even faster than the virus itself. Misinformation and misleading rumors and conspiracy theories about the virus has doubling the anxiety and panic felt by the people. So these are the samples of fake news, like Malaysian military vehicles or street patrollers, military helicopters who drop pesticide from the sky all over the country, a school or a doctor has been tested positive for the COVID-19. So these all are fake news that has triggered panic buying at supermarkets, promoting false cures and scamming millions of ringgits away from buyers desperate to get their hands on surgical masks. And this is also enhanced by our MCMC Chief Compliance Officers that the biggest challenge for us has been to stop people from spreading fake news. Therefore, this study intends to study the purpose of fake COVID-19 news in Malaysia found on social media during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. My second research objective will be to identify the elements of fake news in Malaysia during the peak of COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, next I would like to talk about my literature review. First, I would like to define what is fake news. According to most of the scholars, it always relates to keywords like unverified, inaccurate, misinformation, hoax, vague, speculative, exaggerated, contradictory, conspiracy, satire or parody, manipulated content, misleading and imposter content. Nevertheless, many communication scholars they predict and they also pointed out that social media users can play a more active role in combating this fake news. As like according to scholars, social media users are proven to be more effective and fruitful than algorithm in tackling misinformation. In this study, I will be using Lexi framework by Choi and Chong. According to the scholars, the elements of fake news have to fulfill the lexical structure, emotion, and simplicity. Most of the fake news is have poor lexical structure, like have grammatical errors, and then the structures and the idea of the content is not well or properly arranged. And then it always use negative keywords or exaggerations in depicting or reporting some of the issue. As well as fake news is usually short and simple and straight to the point. Even though this scholar has not included source as one of the elements, but this scholar also did mention that source as one of the important factor in detecting element of fake news. I'll be using content analysis for doing this issue, my study. A total of 170 fake news articles was obtained from sebenarnya.my and 53 articles from sinju.com, starting from the end of February to early of April 2020. I didn't mention the exact date because it was unknown the exact date of the fake news that got spread or released to the public. And based on the website, it only stated February, March, or April. I developed my own coding sheet, and the conceptual definition of the elements is based on Lexi framework by Choi and Chong, 2018. So based on my findings, I found out that most of these fake articles, it tends to spark fear and panic, which is 77.1%, and from this number of articles is 131. For instance, it stated that a patient has been tested positive for COVID-19 has escaped from hospital. Also, the fake article also created an impression that certain areas has been confirmed as red zones and that someone has died from this disease. Other purposes for this fake article are such as to provide solutions and preventions, and also it relates to business, political, and donation. For my second research objective, I found out that most of these fake articles it fulfill the all the elements of fake news proposed by Choi and Chong 2018, which has poor lexical structure, short, simple, and always use of these sensationalized keywords as well as without proper source. These are some of the sample of fake news. I give an example like usually the article is short, direct to the point. It start with like I heard from, my friends told me, and then usually they also give some put some emoji like angry face, nervous face, and then they use keywords like danger, aware, close down, no cure, unsecure, which is more negative keywords in creating these fake stories. So most of my findings of this study corroborates by many past researchers who found that fake article tends to relate to negative emotions because negative content could spread more rapidly than neutral contents with compared to positive emotions. And it also contains three elements, especially with the oversimplifications of ideas, because fake content, it takes time to create, and a long message could expose to weaknesses, and it's very hard to cover up some of the fake parts of, of the content. So by doing these studies, I hope that public will have a greater awareness of the issues and the means of filtering false information, because scholars have been mentioned that social media users could play a more active role by sharing and writing, sharing, and forwarding these articles. And this issue is significant because fake news can have negative effects on the public consumptions of news and pose threats to a country's economic and politics. The future study of this fake article, we could include the intents of fake news creators. For example, like why fake news creators they create this fake news, and based on my research, is actually related to some of the country context. Like in Malaysia, we have these racism issues. The transparency of information did play some roles with the intention of fake news. So that's all for my presentation today. Thank you.